Hello and welcome to our tutorial on how to install and use the VirtualBox software, which can help you have a virtual machine on your computer with a different operating system. I'm using the Mandriva 2008 Linux distribution for a host operating system and will install a Windows XP Service Pack 2 for a guest operating system. Well, the first thing that you need to do is to find out what kernel you are using and make sure that you have the correct kernel sources for that kernel version. You can find out the kernel you're using in two ways. If you're using KDE, you can go to the KDE Control Center, and it is written here in the release area, or you can open terminal. I use console terminal and type uname -r, and it says there what kernel version you have. Now, to have the correct sources can be a bit tricky, because I see in my repository that there are packages called kernel source and packages called kernel devel. So I'll just go to install and remove software, which is the way Mandriva installs and uninstalls software. It is similar to the applications in Ubuntu or SUSE Linux and other major distributions. And if I type kernel laptop, I have a laptop, I can find here kernel laptop devel 262218. So actually the sources for my kernel are here in this file. There is a file called kernel source, but that's not needed, and sometimes it actually doesn't work if you have that kernel source file package. You have to have this kernel laptop devel. So you just have to check which one works for you. Well, I have it installed, so I'm just gonna go and install the VirtualBox software. I'm not going to use the repository for this installation, because in the repository you can find the VirtualBox OSE package, which has less functionality than the regular kernel, the regular VirtualBox software. I downloaded an RPM from the website, and I can just install the RPM by double clicking it. There we go. Anytime now. Okay, it's done. So now we can find our VirtualBox program in Tools area, Emulators, Innotech VirtualBox. You started it as if you want to register. We don't want to register. If you do, be my guest. Now I have to set up a new machine. Hit New, Next. You can write any name you want. You can see I used a Z instead of an S. That's not very important. OS type is Windows XP. Then next, you can allocate as much memory from your RAM memory. I will say 512 megabytes of memory. And here you have to build a virtual hard drive for that new virtual machine to use. what you're doing is that you are creating a virtual computer to use on your operating system, and it needs a virtual hard drive. The virtual hard drive is actually a file, a VDI file, which you can later find on your hard drive if you're interested. I don't have an existing VDA file, so I will create one. This is a very neat thing here, that you can choose a dynamically expanding image for this virtual hard drive, which means that you create, let's say, 4 gigabytes virtual hard drive, but if you have, let's say, 3.5 information on that virtual hard drive, it will automatically expand, so you always have enough space. I will just put here 4 gigabytes. I won't need that much. You can do as you wish, as you need actually. Next, and it says here, see, the location is home, allergy, this is my user from Linux research group, VirtualBox is a hidden folder, VDI and Windows VDI with the size of 4 gigabytes. So if your available space shrinks suddenly after you do this, that's why, because you have a 4 gigabytes file in your home folder. Finish. Next. Finish. And voila, my machine is created, but I have to do some settings now. And in settings I can increase the video memory size. Let's just say 64 megabytes. Hard disks, I already have my VDI. What I want next is, I don't have a floppy. CD, DVD, ROM, we'll see about that. I think we can mount it afterwards. Enable audio, of course. Network is already enabled, and enable USB controller, and we'll talk about share folders later. Okay, so we're pretty set. I have to just get a CD, put it in, hit start, and it will take it from there. Okay, so I have my CD now. I will just click start. Okay, all kind of interesting information. Oops, we have a problem. If you have this problem, you have to do what they say. You have to read the error. And the error says the VirtualBox kernel driver is not accessible to the current user. Make sure that the user has right permissions, blah 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 blah. So let's just go to the control center and find the user and give him the right permissions. On system, users, allergy, groups, VirtualBox users, group users, allergy. Okay, so now we have to log out. Okay, so we added our user to the VirtualBox users group, then we logged out, and now we can start again the installation process. You just have to click start. Okay. If there is a problem and it says something like we cannot find boot medium or whatever, then you have to go to devices and go to mount CD DVD ROM and click there on host drive, because it means that your CD or DVD ROM is not mounted. Mine is mounted, so the installation process started. we will surely take a break now, since you're not interested in how to install Windows. The Windows installation is pretty basic. You probably have done it a couple of times, and we will return to show you how to configure and use some of the advanced functionalities of the VirtualBox software. Okay, so we'll be back. So here we are, Windows finally installed. There are another few things that I would like to show you, and then we'll be on your way. You have your mouse restricted to the area of the Quest operating system when you click in this area, but if I hit the right control, you can see I have two mouse pointers. The black one, which is moving right now, is from the host operating system from Linux, and the other one is from Windows. If I click here, I will have only one, which is from Windows. This way of handling the mouse pointer will no longer be this way if you install Quest editions, VirtualBox Quest editions, which can be seen as some kind of patch. It allows better video driver support, USB support, and other neat functionalities. For that, I will just get my window a bit down, and I have here devices, and we have the install Quest editions entry in the menu. If it doesn't work, you have to unmount your CD DVD-ROM and then mount the CD DVD-ROM image VirtualBox Quest editions ISO. Click select. Okay, here we go. Click next to continue, accept of course the license agreement, and then next. You will probably have to wait a bit to install the drivers. Continue anyway. And here we go. Installation successful. Of course, Windows needs to reboot every time you do anything, so I will let it reboot. Mouse pointer integration. You should read those screens. I have read them at first, but not anymore. Okay, so now we have better video support. If I go to properties, settings, you can see I can choose from small resolution 640 by 480 to humongous, huge 6040 on 1200 pixels. I won't do anything of that sort because I'm still recording. There is a neat function. If I resize the window in each the windows is it automatically resizes my resolution from Windows. So I will show you more. It's pretty weird. Of course, you won't use it in such strange resolutions, but still, it's a neat function. The even next thing I'm going to do is show you how to set up sharing of folders between the host and the Quest operating system. So I will go to devices and shared folders, and I will go to let's say home, allergy, okay, folder name allergy, okay, and from Windows we have to, you need to write here net use, then a letter which will be the drive, sort of X, Y, whatever letter you want, then vbox as rv, and the name of the folder that you shared, allergy. The command completed successfully. So you can find here in my computer network drive, and here are the folders that you shared. I want to show you just a few more tricks. The first is regarding USB support. You see here the USB can be activated through this icon here. Let me just plug in memory stick, and Linux picks it up first. I don't want to open it in Linux, but here I can see my memory stick. Oh, here it is. It takes a while before the USB driver is installed, but now it works. So we have USB support. If you want to take it out, we can just click here. And the last thing that I wanted to show you is seamless mode. So of course you have full screen mode, which can basically show only the West operating system. If you want to scare your friends that you switch to Windows back. But what I found to be more interesting is host L, or from that window. Now I have two operating systems, so I can just move this taskbar here, and I have two, and of course in the first desktop, so I can access my computer from here, and I can open my home here, and I have all my files and all my windows in the same area. Isn't this it? It's a bit weird now because I'm working in a low resolution, so I can record all the windows, but if you use a higher resolution, then you can have multiple windows